Morning, everyone, and I'm Dr. Bhupender Kumar Som from Lloyd Business School. I am heading the Department of Management there as a director, and today I will be talking about market analysis before you start. That means any entrepreneur or probably any startup, whenever they look forward to set up the business. So I'm taking two contexts here. One is some companies starting right from the scratch. That means when there is no product right in the beginning and they have to start right from the scratch, probably a service or a product. And I'll be talking in the context of if there is already an existing company and then starting a new venture. That means they're adding to their product line, they're adding to their service line. So something like new, which they are starting up. So these are the two things or two contexts which I'll be talking about. And my focus of the talk is going to remain around that how much knowledge an entrepreneur should have of tools like statistic to analyze the market and how important it is. So that will be how that is exactly how this whole session is being planned. So let's talk about certain aspects. That means first of all, what exactly is the data now? 90% of the startups fail within 4 5 years of their incubation in India. So when I talk about incubation, or investors which come in, they incubate, they handhold the startups, but still they fail. And the major reasons, certain major reasons of failure are, which are as per a report. One is poor product design. That means the product design. So product could be anything. It could be a hardware. It could be a tangible product. It could be a service product, like a training program or something. That means the product design is pretty poor. Lack of vision. That means most of the startups are not sure about that where they want to reach in the long run. So probably they have very short term goals. Probably they are just in a rush to start something, and they do not see, they do not visualize, they could not foresee that what is going to happen after 10 years for this product, or what kind of innovation successively will be required for this service or for this product. Lack of market understanding, that is one of the major reasons. That means so many products are launched in the market by startups just by thinking that it is some unique idea, without actually understanding whether it will be sellable in the right market or not. So this the point number 3 is exactly is going to be the focus for us today. Poor revenue calculations, and startups fail to calculate the revenue right from day one. So I can give you an example. There is a very big startup which came up in the name of Kavya Sweets in Noida, and they have actually they were so over enthusiastic that they calculated their revenue. They over calculated their revenue, that this much will be making per day, or probably per week. And what happened after they started up, in a month or so, they couldn't even collect 20% of whatever revenue they have estimated, and they're forced to shift their business, and probably then ultimately they just have to shut down. So what I'm trying to tell you is that the poor revenue calculation is a very big factor because of which the startups fail. So I'm not saying that you have to be very conservative in your estimated revenue, but yes, you should remain conservative up to a certain degree, and that this much revenue could be collected so that your operational expenses can be managed accordingly. Poor customer understanding, that means sometimes only a particular idea in my mind pushes me up that okay, I'll be selling this product, doesn't matter what happens. So this poor customer understanding, so you just have to put yourself into the shoe of put your foot in the shoe of the customer and try to understand what customer desires from the particular product, particular type of service, whether the customer will be willing to buy it or not. So customer understanding is one of the another factor. Poor projections, that means not using a good predictive analytics, and you project your business in a really poor way. So that is another cause because of which their startups fail. There are certain more reasons which I could list down. One is replication of West. There are a lot of products which are coming up. So many startups do what they see a particular concept running in United States, or generally it comes from the West, or probably in Europe or somewhere, and they just try to replicate it in India as it is, and without actually understanding the customer need. So they just modify a bit, and sometimes they are not even being modified. The in fact the websites are being replicated as it is. So this is one of the major reasons, because in that case you have failed on everything. You failed to understand the ecosystem and environment of business environment of your own country, and ecosystem of the customers which you are selling to. So the referencing is good, replication is bad. So you can refer certain products from certain across the world. Definitely you can refer certain products, but you can't replicate them straight away, because customer needs are different. They vary geographically, so it is pretty important to understand the customers, understand the market, understand the pocket, depth of the pocket of the customer. It is pretty important. And there is no innovation at times. That means whatever is going on in the market, and the people start following that kind of business. And one of the biggest example is the colleges, the private campuses or schools, if you look into the thing. So this could be one of the best examples. Once so many investors realized that, okay, there is a lot of money in, once you run the institutions and colleges, and you can see there is a flood of colleges and campuses across India, right? And what happened? Everyone from the education sector knows that what percentage of colleges actually are forced to shut down because of mismatch of the type of fees they were taking, the type of education they were providing, and the type of placement the colleges were giving. So there was a total imbalance amongst the in the education sector because of this thing happened. So that means there was no innovation. You just see the flow of the market and you start moving in that particular direction. Doesn't mean that you are going to get a success. This may cause a failure because there are already a lot of players. So innovation is important. That means what is the unique thing which you are selling. Non-technical decision making, this is one of the major and very very important part. Why actually analytics is coming so much in picture, and why AI and data analytics and decision making and data science is so much popular in the world, across the world. It is getting popular because if you make a decision on the basis of data, that means a technical decision, that means you involve machine in decision making along with your logical thinking and your understanding or your subjective thinking, and you involve the machine also. What happens is, I'm not saying the decision is going to be a foolproof decision and the success is ensured, no, but the probability of failure is reduced by and large. So that's why technical decision making is a very very important part. That means you have to believe the data, what data is saying up to a certain extent, and on the basis of that you need to amend your decisions. So this is one of the again major reasons that you need to trust what exactly the machine is saying up to a certain extent. Poor team or no team, that is a very important part. Certain times the startups try to sail their ship by themselves itself. They do not organize a very good team, but doesn't matter. You look into big companies like Apple or Microsoft or somewhere, every guy who started up from somewhere or probably started a new venture, they had a very really good team. So the best combination of team for a startup is, let us suppose there is a tech product, right? And you want to organize a team, and a BTech guy is thinking about it, an engineer is thinking about it, that okay, this is the product which I'm going to bring to the market, and that's a tech product. So the perfect combination is, that means he need to have a team in which he must involve somebody who's an expert in management area, and who has a really good understanding of market, and probably of another concepts of management. Probably he would team up with somebody who is of very good in finances and risk management and all that. So there is a very good team which is required to make a startup a success. That means you cannot dig a well by your own and drink the water out of it. You just need a team. And yes, definitely there is luck, there is bad luck, the people talk about it all the time. And poor operations management, that means people fail to understand that what are going to be my operational expenses. I can again give you one simple case study. There is one big company. It was I can't name that particular company because of certain reasons, but that particular company is like IMS or probably a career launcher and all, and they had a very big name in Delhi, right? And they were selling their product was, they were preparing the students for CAT and MAT exams for MBAs, PGDM. And what happened is their revenue reached around 100 crore, but their expenses were like 99 crores or something. So that is exactly what was happening. That means they failed to recognize their operational expenses, which went very high. And Kingfisher is one of the best examples of it. There's a lot of airlines are still working, but one of the major reasons was that Kingfisher was it was failing to map their operational expenses. So operational expenses, operational management is very important part, which includes a lot of things. That means you must have a clear thought process right in the beginning of supply chain, or probably how the product is going to reach, at what cost, and what will be the channels by modes by which you are going to actually tap. So everything is supposed to be there in blueprint right in the beginning. So this is one of the another reasons. And okay, let me go ahead. So okay, now this is very important, which I'm talking about here is that what exactly we should know about market before moving into the startup or probably starting a new venture. One is I should know about my competitors. So in the market, I should know who are already existing competitors. So what are the companies that can come in competition or they are planning to come in competition? That is called futuristic approach. That means it's not about that who are the competitors now. Yes, it is important to know who are the right customers right now, but with whom I'm going to compete in future, and what could be the future, what could be the possible companies that can come and compete me in the future. So competition is supposed to be understood in three possible ways. One is right now moment, the day I start, whom with I have to compete. That is one. And in level 2 you have to understand that in future with whom I am going to compete. That means when once my size is going to get bigger and bigger, then what are the bigger players that are there in the picture. And the third thing is who are the companies that can actually come into this market, what kind of the balance they have. This is level 3. So if you need to analyze all the three levels of competitions pretty clearly in order to understand where you stand in your business. Potential market analysis, it's pretty important. Whereas so potential market analysis is identifying that you can link it directly to the sales, that how much I'll be able to sell, that what is the potentiality in the market. So it could be like a potentiality could be in the terms of, so I'll be discussing it later in detail. It could be like understanding the depth of the pocket of the customer, or probably understanding the geographical potential of a particular market. So potentiality of the market is another aspect which one should know. Customer perception or opinion about your product, about your service, very important, one of the major aspects. That means probably you can pre-test that what customers are thinking about my product, my what kind of opinion they are carrying about these kind of products. So these are the certain things which you should know well in advance. Level of acceptance, yeah, probably somebody likes it, but when it comes to buying the particular thing, person doesn't take it up. So what is the level of acceptance of the particular product? That is very important to know. Customer satisfaction, more or less, it is it has to do more with the post sales. But why I'm putting up in the market analysis is that if you already know that what level of customer satisfaction is there of the customers from similar kind of products already there in the market, so this gives you a very good hint that what kind of improvements that is required, or to make the customer satisfied in a longer duration. And product improvement is again another important part. Probably you are sample surveying, you are trying to understand the consumer perception or customer perception about your product, and they give you brilliant ideas, and then you can come up with the product improvement before even launching it. So these are the certain things which you should know about the market. There may be a lot of other things which are popping in your mind, and probably these more things can be covered, but these are actually the major things which one should know about the market before moving into the product. So we'll discuss them one by one. The first is knowing the existing competitors. So what I'm talking about, same products or similar products and their market share. So this is pretty important to understand that what market has already been captured, why a customer is going to shift from their product to your product. It is again a very challenging task. If I already have 5 saving accounts, why would I open it with the sixth bank? So but these kind of customers are pretty less. So loyalty of the customers with the particular if you know the market size of a particular company, and if you involve the aspect of loyalty of a customer, then in that particular case you will be clearly understanding that how much amount of market is left blank. So probably in education, what happened is, you can think like this, that there are millions of students who pass out their class 12th, and very few of them go, or means in India, in country like ourselves, the less people go for the graduation, there are very less people then go for the PG courses. So existing how many seats are available already there for the graduation programs, and still they are failing to fill their seats, despite of the fact that number of seats are less than the number of students which pass out class 12th, but still they are failing to fill. So this is what I'm saying, that if I want to start a school or a college, probably, so I want to understand why my competitors are failing to fill these seats. So what is their strength, weakness, opportunities and threats for my customers. So this is pretty important to understand, because I need to capitalize the weakness of my competitors. I need to learn from the strengths. I need to look into the opportunities which my competitors have. I also understand the threats of my competitors. That means same threats will be posed to me if my product is going to remain absolutely same. So this is actually the first part of the slide. Now, let's talk about second thing, which I said is potential market analysis. So potentiality of the market can be analyzed